Hey guys, I'm Slave to the Games, and this is the second part to the Assassin's Creed Valhalla info series. Thank you guys for stopping by, and without further ado, let's dive straight in. Since, as I said before, Eivor will have his own ambitions as well as having to take care of their community, you will be forced to make decisions that will change the direction of the story and the gameplay. You will also be able to choose whether to ruthlessly slaughter the women and children as well, apparently. As in the trailer, when Eivor stops his fellow Viking, that is apparently a choice you're going to be able to make. Why am I saying apparently a lot? Because while this does sound very amazing, just being able to have the choice to be ruthless, to be brutal, and unnecessarily or not, I find a hard time thinking that this is actually going to make it when the game is released. I want it to be, not just because I'm a psychopath who likes senselessly slaughtering people, but because giving yourself that choice to choose how far you want to go is what matters to me. A raiding party of 8 people can be with us at all times, but could change due to development, and the raiders don't have permadeath, so you don't have to worry about them dying forever. And you can also fully customize them. The assaults are going to be bigger than an Odyssey, where they promise it's going to go much further than Odyssey did, where they say we will be pushed through a series of narrative moments as well as gameplay moments where we will feel like we are taken over an actual area, whether it be a fortress, castle, or something else entirely. Saxons will also make defenses over time to counter your advances through the longship and possibly even more than that. Battering rams will also play a role in the game, though depending on whether you can use that yourself, it has yet to be seen, and it may just be scripted events that happen when you're attacking fortresses specifically. Lead producer Julian Laferiere, which I hope I said that right, said, "We have a cool way of integrating the Norse gods into the game. The Norse gods were believed to be roaming the earth, involved in fights, etc. This is how we treat it in the game. Players will have the full liberty to switch between countries whenever they wish, aside from possible story moments that would probably lock them out of certain areas or locations, depending on what has happened in the story. The core of the map will be England and Norway, though as I mentioned in the previous video, there will be more locations, as well as surprises when it comes to exploring and, well, locations. The lore on the gods and their role will be more grounded this time than in Odyssey. Multiple endings are all but confirmed, as it just doesn't make sense that it would do away with them while remaining a choice-based game where your choices matter, and they promise to build off from Odyssey with more advanced RPG mechanics and dialogue choices. Paganism versus Christianity will be a key narrative theme as well in this game. There will be 400 points to spend in your power tree, skill tree. We'll just call it skill tree for now, even though that's not really the word we're gonna stick with or phrase we're gonna use. And will take time to get a maxed out character. It may not be possible depending on your playstyle and what you do. There is an ability that will also allow you to call Wolf to help you. Now, basically, because of how the game's set up and allowing you to play how you want and, traverse the game how you want, this is the main reason you may not be able to max out your character. It really does depend on how you play your character and how much time you invest in the game. This isn't confirmed, but there's a potential to target the different parts of the body, like in the Surge games, for example, as well as weak points for specific enemies, and maybe all enemies, in which you can either deal significant damage as well as maybe even having to target that spot to deal damage. This may even go so far as to have weapons do better against lightly geared versus heavy geared enemies, depending on the weapon you're using, though this tidbit is just a theory of mine I wanted to share with you guys. There's going to be a rope dart possibly returning. A horn might be able to be used to buff allies and also act as the object for the animus, and the possibility to customize the hidden blade is definitely there, and I'm leaning on it's pretty much confirmed. There will definitely be at least one scripted event where your settlement is attacked, though if this is also going to be a gameplay feature as well is yet to be shown. I very heavily believe that we are going to be able to be attacked multiple times and have to defend our place. Now, this is me believing it. It doesn't mean that that's true. And I definitely think it should be, though. If it's not true, I think that's a potential they're gonna miss out on in the game, and it's something that just should be part of it. I think other than scripted events, there should be the ability to have to defend your settlement from other Vikings, Saxons, etc. I think you should have to do that in more than one point. You should never just always be safe. I think in this type of game, it's something that if it's not there, what are you doing, Yubi? Now, players can romance any gender regardless of their own, and romances have the potential to carry consequences as well, depending on who you are trying to get with, not only your clan members. There will be more than 25 enemy types. There will also be legendary Vikings in the game. This is confirmed to be happening, though to what extent, other than possible rival Viking clans, antagonists, or exactly what they're doing there, I have no idea, but I'm gonna go off on a limb and say that it's probably just the fact that they're gonna be rival Vikings with a potentially maybe 2 to 3 tied to the actual story. And I don't mean from your own specific clan or anyone that's going to be in your clan. I mean actual other characters that won't be tied to your clan, at least until later in the game. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard this before. The game has the potential to not be the longest game in the series, and the reason why is because it's due to the fact that we are promised that we can focus on just the story if we want, just the side objectives if we want, or really anything we want to do. So, if the promise holds, you can most likely focus solely on the main story and finish it faster than, say, Odyssey, due to how they set up Valhalla to be so free, and the ability to decide your personal focus. Level grinding was toned down specifically so you did not need to grind in order to continue the story. This was something that I had a small issue with. I played Odyssey on Nightmare, and there was 2 moments in the entire game where I actually had to grind and do other things, and I felt like it was a pain, only because I felt like I was being forced to do it. But it was only in those 2 moments, and even then, I still widely liked Odyssey's combat, Odyssey's level grinding and all of that. I still liked it. It's just when you want to continue something and you get forced to not be able to do it or do other things, you don't really enjoy it as much. And I think this is trying to alleviate it and will probably succeed at that. Though, obviously, I haven't played the game myself, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. Now, the last thing I wanted to go over was that Valhalla is going to be focused more on the story and your character's personality rather than the combat system, even with all of what I have previously mentioned in the previous video. But this still doesn't mean there won't be anything new than what I have mentioned already. They're still working on improving what was already done in Odyssey and previous games, as well as what they're implementing into the game. It's just their main focus is on story and the character's personality and development. And they're gonna have everything else take a backdrop to it, but it doesn't mean that's gonna be any less important than everything else other than their priority. And that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope that any of this helped you at all. If you learned at least 1 to 3 new things, I am trying my best to give you all the information I can. Like I briefly mentioned, I went through up to January 2018 back in the past to find out any information I could for this, and all the way from there to, well, present day, there's very little information. Up to this second video, this moment of release, I have pretty much gotten everything that I can. Obviously, this doesn't include anything of the first 4 hours it took for me to edit this video, render, and everything else after that. There might be some brand new information that I haven't checked yet, but I did go back a year to bring you everything that I could. I have pretty much maxed out about the amount of information I can give you right now, but the second I get any more info, or I see that there's any more info or any new articles to go over, any new gameplay videos coming out or anything, I will bring you the next part. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you did, and then think about joining my Discord, either with the link in the description below or comment saying it's not working, and I'll send you one so that you can join. Don't forget to also optionally think about joining my Patreon and further supporting me in what I do by actually becoming a Patreon member. Though, like I said, it is completely optional. Either way, this is the end of the video. Once again, it's been fun. I hope you learned something new, and I'll catch you guys in my next stream or my next release.